What up, WeHo? This month, West Hollywood celebrates the 4th of July, so happy birthday, America! I can't believe you're already 243 years old. You look good for your age. You must moisturize. Welcome to WeHoTV News. Oh, say, can you see West Hollywood? I'm Mike Siriaco, and I'm bringing you everything you need to know about WeHo, courtesy of the city of West Hollywood. If you spent the past month celebrating Pride, like I did, you may have missed out on some important news. Don't sweat it, because we're going to catch you up to speed with the WeHo Wind-Up. Let's put 30 seconds on the clock. The Rainbow Key Awards honored contributions to the LGBT community. WeHo's LGBT community celebrated Pride, and Boston's straight community celebrated spiteful trolling. Sarah Huckabee Sanders announced she's resigning, although if she said it, who knows if it's true. And apparently the moon is a part of Mars? So what, now he's gonna build a wall to keep out undocumented Martians? Open up your hearts, open up your minds, and open up these news briefs. For 40 days between May and June, the city of West Hollywood celebrated Pride with its One City, One Pride LGBTQ Arts Festival. Festivities included a lesbian speakers series, High Tea, hosted by Stephanie Miller and Beth Lapides. Oh, and when I say high tea, I'm not referring to the kind you get at MedMen. The city of West Hollywood hosted this year's LA Pride Parade, commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Rebellion, unlike the other 51 Sundays a year, when it just hosts Walks of Shame. Just making sure it wasn't me. Women in Books met this month to discuss History of Love by Nicole Krauss. Oh, and this shouldn't be confused with History of Lies by Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The city of West Hollywood partnered with the West Hollywood Chamber of Commerce for State of the City 2019, City of the Future. It's just like the Jetsons. Well, if Elroy Go-Go danced at the Abbey. And Celebration Theater debuted its new production of The Producers, which tells the story of a show that becomes incredibly successful, despite the fact that it's terrible, because it doesn't always turn out that way. Damn it, Sophie Turner, why does everything you touch turn to mediocrity? Now go sip your tea, because we're done with these news briefs. So, I hear all you gays are divided on whether Taylor Swift is supporting LGBT culture or just making LGBT culture all about herself. Oh, honeys. If we learned anything from Madonna, a girl can do both. And Taylor Swift isn't the only woman on our radar this month, so let's check out this year's Women in Leadership Awards. Take it away, Eddie Robinson.
Sisters can always do it for themselves. It's the 24th Annual Women in Leadership Awards. I'm Eddie Robinson, and this is WeHoTV News. The City of West Hollywood Women's Advisory Board and the West Hollywood Chamber of Commerce recently presented the 24th Annual Women in Leadership Awards, held at the London in West Hollywood.
When the Chamber and the Women's Advisory Board pick the honorees, of looking at different diverse groups of women, different industries, different backgrounds, etc., so that we have 5 that have pretty much a diverse background of different industries or walks of life.
This year's honorees include Cherie Franklin, Chief Strategy Officer of Mother Tree WeHo, the Honorable Laura Friedman of the California State Assembly, actress and activist Annabeth Gish, Executive Director of Equal Means Equal, Kamala Lopez, and Maya Paley of National Council of Jewish Women, Los Angeles.
This is a city that I've worked extremely closely with for the past 7 years, both with the Women's Advisory Board, with some of the city council members, and it's just a tremendous honor. I love this city, and I'm so grateful to be recognized.
What defines a woman in leadership most in our current times?
The way women lead needs to be distinct from the way men lead and more authentic to how we are.
We don't have to lean in, we don't have to step back, we don't have to say it the way others want us to say it or do it the way others want us to do it. We're doing it the way that we know is the right way to be a leader and to help our communities grow and help our families prosper.
WeHo.org is your source for discovering more upcoming events supported by the City of West Hollywood. For WeHoTV News, I'm Eddie Robinson. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Eddie. We salute you, just as we salute our many brave military heroes. On July 4th, patriotic WeHoans celebrated Independence Day. An important figure in our fight for freedom was a gay military officer, Baron Frederick von Steuben. This Prussian expat was responsible for providing Continental soldiers with the proper combat training required to defeat the Redcoats, and was one of the first in a long legacy of LGBT veterans. So, in honor of Independence Day, we'd like to acknowledge some of these brave men, women, and non-binary persons with our salute to LGBT military figures. Leonard Matlovich, the first gay service member to purposely out himself to the military, Matlovich was one of the most visible gay men in the 1970s, appearing on the cover of Time magazine in 1975. The Vietnam vet was motivated to come out in order to fight the military ban against LGBT service members.
My conscience just wouldn't let me do it anymore. I had to come forward and say, no more America.
Matlovich may have been the first, but he was far from the last American military figure to come out. Margareta Kammermeyer. When she disclosed she was a lesbian, Kammermeyer was discharged from the Army after a lifetime of service, resulting in a historic court case that ruled her discharge and the ban on LGBT persons serving in the military were unconstitutional. Her story was adapted into the film Serving in Silence, starring Glenn Close.
I'm going to sue the Army.
What?
They want to discharge me because I told them I'm a lesbian.
Kristen Beck. The first openly trans former Navy SEAL, Beck's journey has been chronicled in both her memoir, Warrior Princess, a U.S. Navy SEAL's journey to coming out transgender, and the documentary, Lady Valor.
In some ways, this is way more mentally and physically rigorous than many things I've done in my past.
Trans Americans are more than just a part of our country. Many of them protect our country. According to the 2015 U.S. Transgender Survey, members of the trans community serve in the military at nearly twice the rate as the people in the U.S. population overall. Which means the current trans military ban doesn't just target trans Americans, it targets American heroes. And for more Pride news, we go now to WeHoTV's newest power couple, Kaylee and Lumos the Unicorn. Thanks, Kaylee and Lumos the Unicorn. As part of West Hollywood's Pride festivities, the city hosted a number of arts events, including the launch of the upcoming queer comic book anthology, Crush. So we met up with the book's editor, Tara Avery, for this month's Mic Drop. The city of West Hollywood is a huge supporter of the arts, whether it's visual arts, performance arts, or even comic books. As part of the One City, One Pride Arts Festival and WeHo Reads, the city hosted a launch party for Crush, a queer comic book anthology from Stack Deck Press and Prism Comics. So we met up with Tara Avery, editor of Crush, to discuss its relationship with the city of West Hollywood and the importance of LGBT representation in comic books.
Well, my name is Tara Madison Avery. I am a publisher, cartoonist, editor, and illustrator. And I also work with a nonprofit organization, Prism Comics, which is a 501c3 organization that supports LGBTQ AIU comics creators and fandom from coast to coast. The whole idea about Crush, First Love, New Talent is that we're looking for an entirely new group of cartoonists and comics creators, and we're also making a very, very distinct effort to focus on people of emerging identities. And when I say that, I mean people who are asexual, gender fluid, gender queer, pansexual, etc. A lot of the letters in our broad queer alphabet that people are not terribly familiar with yet. Beyond that, we've got 24 stories complete by 24 all-new cartoonists and/or creative teams, and we're assembling the book as we speak.
Now, this book got partial funding through a grant from the City of West Hollywood. How do you feel that this book reflects the values of the City of West Hollywood?
Well, it reflects, inclusion, and it also reflects, the desire to do things which are leading edge. This is a group of people who have not been in print before, and that is something that we need to continue to do, and something I think the City of West Hollywood supports is, cultivating the new and the next and the now, and doing it with an eye on social justice.
This is important because art, in its myriad forms, has the power to change the world.
And for our viewers who just can't get enough of the arts in WeHo, let's hop back to Eddie Robinson.
Capturing the life and legacy of Harvey Milk and kicking off the One City, One Pride LGBTQ Arts Festival. I'm Eddie Robinson, and this is WeHoTV News.
Please welcome the cast of Dear Harvey.
The City of West Hollywood's One City, One Pride LGBTQ Arts Festival starts every year on May 22nd, Harvey Milk Day. And this year it began with the staged reading of Dear Harvey in collaboration with the Celebration Theater.
Dear Harvey is a compilation of stories and letters that were put together by Patricia Lowry, the playwright, that tells us the story of Harvey Milk through other people's remembrances and collections of stories, and also interviews that he did and parts and pieces of speeches that he gave on his campaign trail.
The scope of our history is pretty amazing. I mean, at the same time, it's encapsulated in this one guy, in Harvey, who comes from not a particularly activist background, but becomes one because he just goes to San Francisco and feels he can be in his own skin for the first time, and builds on that to make it possible for other people to feel the same way, legally.
The theme of this year's festival is Love is Love. But what does that mean?
It's very simple. Love is love. It's very simple. They've always painted us sexually. When you see a heterosexual couple on Valentine's Day, you don't say, oh, what are they going to do in bed? You talk about this couple loving each other. I think love is love applies to us as with our lovers and each other and our partners, but I also think it applies to us as a community. We've had to become each other's family.
For more information on the City of West Hollywood's One City, One Pride LGBTQ Arts Festival, visit WeHo.org. For WeHoTV News, I'm Eddie Robinson. Happy Pride. Mike, back to you.
And for more on performance arts in WeHo, we go now to Nick Catelli.
They say that the Lord of Dance was originated here in the City of West Hollywood. Now, you might think it's me from the way that I'm walking as a dancer, but it's not. I'm Nick Catelli for WeHoTV News, and we're going to take part in the Happy Feet Ballroom Dance class, and it's going to be a tango. All right, I'm here with dance master Lenny Pro. Now, Lenny, what's your background in dance?
Background in dancing. I've been dancing since a very young age.
Okay.
I started dancing when I was 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and since then I've been dancing, and I don't want to tell you how old I am, so that's
okay.
a lot of
I'm not gonna lie, you look like you're 24.
Awesome, I'll take that. This program involves health benefits because this is a cardio exercises, dance-oriented. So we're taking figures from different dances like cha-cha, samba, rumba, jive, and then we combine them together. And everybody's doing line dancing. Afterwards, we practice some partnering as well.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Let's go shoulders. Shoulders back. Swing forward. Shoulders. Obviously, we shouldn't be using these moves in like underground dance fighting or dance-offs or things like that, right?
Well, sometimes you can go, like you can go boom, wave, and then boom, boom.
Okay, we're doing the robot, yeah.
But don't use those at home and don't repeat them and don't show them to children.
That's right, kids. When doing dance moves, be responsible. As a dance partner, like what would you say on a scale of 1 to awesome?
1 and 2 and 3 and meet each other.
Anything I should work on when we get into the music?
Yeah.
Okay. She has made me extremely nervous, but I'm up for the challenge.
And now, freestyle! Yes! Yes!
Everyone, good class today. The Happy Feet Ballroom Dance class is made possible by the City of West Hollywood's Recreation Services Division. For more information on classes like this or just anything going on in the City of West Hollywood, visit WeHo.org. Again, I'm Nick Catali for WeHoTV News, and I'm going to dance it out Kevin Bacon style. Eat your heart out, Kevin Bacon, because you ain't got nothing on that.
Thanks, Nick. Now let's continue our exploration of arts in West Hollywood with a look at queer cinema. This month, the cinephiles of West Hollywood are hitting up Outfest, the 11-day-long celebration of queer movie making. In honor of the event, we like to shine a spotlight on some of our favorite LGBT films. So, settle, rolling, and action. Paris is Burning. Nearly 30 years after its original debut, this exploration of the competitive ball scene of the late 80s is re-releasing to theaters. The documentary is notable for not only introducing voguing to mainstream audiences, but also showcasing the tribulations of non-gender normative young people of color during the Reagan era.
Those balls are more or less like our fantasy of being a superstar. You know, a lot of those kids that are in the balls, they don't have two of nothing. Some of them don't even eat. They come to balls starving.
In 1989, the ball scene was one of the few safe spaces available to gay and trans youth. 3 decades later, with the rise of hate crimes against the trans community, this film serves as a reminder that LGBT safe spaces are just as important as ever. But I'm a Cheerleader. This 1999 comedy, starring Natasha Lyonne, Clea Duvall, and a rare out-of-drag RuPaul Charles, is a kitschy look at conversion therapy. Despite the efforts to conform Lyonne's character to traditional gender roles, love eventually wins the day.
1, 2, 3, 4, you're the one that I adore. 5, 6, 7, 8, don't run from me, 'cause this is fate.
Although these young lesbians got a happy ending, it's important to remember that conversion therapy is an abusive, homophobic practice that has led to depression and suicide. It's why California was one of the first states in the country to ban it. This film is a lighthearted reminder that homosexuality isn't a mental disorder that can be fixed. It's just what some people are lucky enough to be born as. Brokeback Mountain. In 2005, this gay romance starring Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. The film was notable for normalizing same-sex love for mainstream audiences and supplied us one of the most iconic queer quotes in movie history.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
If we learned anything from Outfest, go homo or go home. We'll be back next month with more news, noise, and nonsense. Until then, keep it cute, WeHo.